You know, I'm getting really tired of other people that are not biological women trying to speak for actual biological women. I'm getting tired of actual women. Our feelings are not getting taken into consideration at all. Somehow, real women are being dominated by people that are pretending to be women. They're not biologically women. They're pretending to be women, and somehow their feelings matter more. Their rights matter more. Somehow there are different rights for these women than there are for actual biological women. When you start placing men into women's sports, that is dangerous. Look at the volleyball player who now has half of her brain paralyzed because a man was allowed to play in a women's volleyball, and he was spiking the ball, and it hit her, and he actually cackled and laughed about it. And now she's permanently damaged. Why are we allowing men into sports that can actually kill us or give us permanent damage? Not to mention the fact that Serena Williams herself has said that she does not think that men and women are the same when it comes to sports, because they aren't. Not just when it comes to sports, but in life in general, we're not the same. Hallelujah, thank God, because we need to be different. We offer different pros and cons, different benefits. We balance each other out. We help each other. But to say that it's okay for a man to be in women's sports, these women have worked their entire lives, worked hard to get to where they are, only to have it taken away in seconds by someone that did not work at all to get where they are. In fact, who was so bad at the sport, they couldn't hack it in their own sport, in men's sports, so they had to go over to a woman where for some reason they're getting cheered and honored. And if, God forbid, you think it's terrible for a man to beat up a woman, which I thought we weren't promoting. I didn't think we were promoting men beating women up. But somehow the liberals are. That's okay. I also don't understand why it's okay for liberals to speak on behalf of Native Americans, of Black people, of women, of the gay community. If, God forbid, the LGB community says they don't like the LGBTQ ABC to the third power community, and they don't like what's going on, and they don't feel that they're being represented well, then somehow they're the bad guys. Excuse me, they're the original. They're the OG. They came before you. They paved the way. They actually worked hard to get to where they are. They actually endured scrutiny and harassment and bullying. You just sauntered in and decided to take over and throw gigantic temper tantrums and hurt people and bully people and try to get people's jobs taken away, try to have their lives ruined, their income taken away if they disagree with you. You fight for things like Native Americans if schools or sports teams have are called like chiefs or warriors, if that's their mascot. And then somehow people that are not Native American, white people, Black people, Asian people, Hispanic people, suddenly they're speaking on behalf of the Native Americans when the Native Americans didn't seem to care at all. And when they say they don't care, somehow you're calling them racist, and somehow you are now harassing and bullying the Native Americans because the Native Americans don't care if people have chiefs or Indians or whatever. They don't care what people's mascot is. So now some white person's going to tell them how to feel. And if they don't agree, you're going to call them racist and hateful and deplorable. Do you see that that is insane? To speak on behalf of women, somehow women's rights and women's feelings don't matter. Somehow now you can break into someone's home, and if, God forbid, that burglar like steps on something and breaks their leg while they're robbing me, while they have trespassed and broken into my home and are robbing me, somehow they can also sue me because they broke their leg on my property. That is America right now. It's ridiculous. How has all of a sudden the victim become the bad guy? And how are other people speaking on behalf of something that they don't represent? I don't get to speak on behalf of Asian people or Native American people or of men or of Catholics because I'm not any of those things. I can only speak on behalf of who I am, which is what we should all do. Now, if you want to stick up for somebody, then maybe you should ask that person if they actually want you to stick up for them or not. But I know as a woman, my feelings should matter a hell of a lot more in the Olympics than someone that claims they're a woman. The Taiwan person, if you've got an if he was deemed a man and had too much testosterone, when those same people wouldn't let Russia compete and banned Russia because they said they were using too many steroids. They were using steroids, not too many, but were using steroids. And then they said, well, there's too much testosterone in your blood work right now, so you can't compete. Well, they had a lot of testosterone because they had the steroids. But yet, they're allowing these women to compete in boxing when they had too much testosterone and they were found to be men. I'm confused. I don't know. The person from Argentina is supposed to be an actual woman. I don't know. But the Taiwanese person, that's shady. And I don't know why we are allowing men to beat up women. That is not progress. That is not moving forward. That is taking many, many steps backwards. And how dare you put women in such a vulnerable position as to allow men in our locker rooms with showers? Do you know how dangerous that is? Do you know there are many people who have been raped or molested? And we do not want men. We shouldn't have to deal with men in our restrooms and in our locker rooms when we are at our most vulnerable. You don't get to wake up one day and call yourself something and expect the rest of the world to identify you as that, and suddenly our feelings don't matter. Why is it one-sided? Why does one side matter and not the other, especially when it's a women's restroom that we had to work insanely hard just to be able to vote, to drive, to get an education, to do anything other than pop out babies? It's been a long time coming. You don't get to just wake up and not experience any of those things that a woman has experienced and call yourself a woman. You can call yourself whatever you want, but you don't get to force others to treat you like that. If you've got an Adam's apple and you come into my bathroom, you're going out on a stretcher. That's not a threat, that's a promise, and I have every right to do it. But this is ridiculous. I'm getting tired of the virtue signaling. Sorry, I can't. I'm totally Bidening out right now because I'm getting angry, so I'm getting all tongue-tied. But I'm tired of people speaking on behalf of women that aren't women. And I'm tired of women that are women taking the side of a biological man, but not at all caring about the woman. There are feelings. It's a one-sided thing, and that's not okay. You don't get to talk about changing a mascot when you're not Native American and speak on behalf for Native Americans. You don't get to speak on behalf of the LGBT community when that community is telling you they have issues with the LGBTQ PG crap. You don't get to get mad at them. They're allowed their opinion. They're allowed their opinion just as you are yours. And I'm getting tired of the one-sidedness. I'm getting tired of it being okay for women to be put at risk and our safety to be at risk. It's not okay, and it has to stop. And I don't know why everybody is still on board with this. It needs to end, and I sure hope it ends soon, because as a woman, I'm not feeling safe.